Money roll, yeah, I'm looking at the bank, say miss, I do not want to jail, yeah, nuts with my gang, you be just a stain, cover on my chain.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you guys are having a great day as usual. So for this video, guys, I'm going to try and explain the ending of Us, the movie that came out earlier this year, directed by Jordan Peele. Great movie, not as scary as I thought it was, but more of an ambiguous kind of thriller that leaves you on the edge of your seat. So let's jump right into explaining it. First, I want to explain Jason, guys. And Jason is half tethered, half human, but he takes after his mom. So a lot of what he is tethered dominant, you know, like a lot of his genetics are tethered dominant. Even though he has a sister that's the exact same way, she takes after her dad, right? So she's more human in a sense, whereas Jason is more tethered. A lot of what he does is more tethered dominant. That's why throughout the movie, and they even give you hints at this, Jordan Peele does a great job of giving you guys hints. Like, he leaves you hints throughout the movie, like he's not on beat, he has a tough time like interacting with people and stuff like that. So he is primarily like tethered dominant, and he's out of place throughout the whole movie. You could kind of switch both Jason and Pluto, and they would still fit in their respective families, you know? So they're kind of both out of place in the movie because they don't really do what they're supposed to do, like in terms of like the doppelganger Pluto killing Jason. He doesn't even try. He's kind of like, they're both like friendly towards each other, which is they're the only set of twins that kind of do that. Everybody else is straight up trying to kill each other. So that's super interesting, and that really does impact the movie like later on. But the ending scene is crazy, you know, that little glare that Pluto is giving his mom, like he knows what's up but he doesn't want to say anything. So I think what happened is when he got kidnapped at the real Red, she pretty much kept him underground and told him everything he needed to know about his mom. Even though I wouldn't say, the whole thing is neither Red or the Adeline that we know are bad people. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's saying like, oh, I feel bad for Red, which I feel bad for Red as well, but you gotta feel bad for the rest of the clones that are stuck underground as well, right? Like, they're not bad people, they're just tethered to their clones upground. So the whole point of the movie is neither one of them are bad people, they just did what they needed to do in a moment where they were in power for a little bit. Like, the fake Adeline that is living above ground that we follow throughout the whole movie, she switched out places with Red, not knowing that she could take Red as well. You know what I mean? She was a little girl. She was like 6 or 7 years old, and that was probably her best opportunity to switch places. So it's not like she was evil. She was very young. She was very naive. She didn't really understand that she could have taken the other Red as well, and that would have pretty much just destroyed the whole project that the government was working on and shown that there are clones, right? So she didn't know that, and Red, I guess, never had the thought to leave. I don't know why she wouldn't leave, because maybe she was not educated or anything at some point, but she never really had that thought, and the best way that she could come up with is setting up this whole uprising of the clones, right? So that was her best plan. So at the end of the day, like I said, the whole movie is kind of moral ambiguous, you know? Like, you're supposed to be rooting for the Adeline that's the clone until you find out that she's the clone, and then you feel bad for Red, but you can't feel bad for Red because she still tries to kill people and stuff like that. So it's kind of like everybody's in a morally gray area, and it's kind of like real life. Sometimes there are no right or wrong choices. You just got to make a choice that's going to benefit you. And sometimes you think about, like, you look back and you're like, man, I wish I could have done more in that moment. I wish I had more foresight. I wish I understood things more differently in that moment, and it could have changed everything, you know? So I don't see either person as good or bad. They just did what they had to do in the moment. And in a moment, it's tough to choose what you can do, right? You just kind of do what you need to do. You zero in, you kind of, everything shuts down, and you got to make a choice. Yes or no, right? So that's what happens. That's what I think happened, at least. Red's plan to do that was kind of crazy. I love the movie. If you take the movie literally, I think you won't like the movie as much, because you're gonna have a hard time believing that there's tunnels all across America where they're keeping people underground. But if you take the movie metaphorically and kind of just see, like, maybe it's a bit of classism and that this story is kind of cool and it's unique and it's original, then you'll have a great time watching the movie. So let's jump into the clip and we'll have a little discussion after. Let's go.
My baby. My baby. I found you. Oh.
Bro, she just brutally murdered Red with some, like, animalistic rage.
They can't hurt you. You understand?
And she was, like, happy while she was murdering Red, too. Like, it was kind of creepy.
Everything's gonna be like it was before.
And Jason saw all of it because he was hiding in the locker. He wasn't, like... He saw it all. This guy was the comic relief the whole movie, huh? The funny dad that's trying to, like, survive but still fucking around. At least she got to drive, right? That's what she wanted.
She wasn't in okay, she got lost. For 15 minutes,
That can be very scary.
You don't know what happened to her. Anything could have happened to her.
Okay. So how do we get her to talk?
Encourage her to draw, to write, to dance. Anything to help her tell us her story.
Just want my little girl back.
Oh. Never mind, yo. The fake Adeline looks like a fucking evil person. Where'd she get handcuffs from? Yeah, the evil, she might be evil, man. Adeline might be evil. Those faces, like...
Okay, she left.
I told you to look after her.
Yeah.
Look at you.
It's not my fault she left.
Look at you.
That's not my fault. Well, look at me. Look at you. Look at you.
I think she was evil. Maybe a little sociopathic? Like, holy shit. Does it even matter? That's the whole point of the movie.
Will somebody wear me to the fair? Will a lady pin me in her hair?
Does it even matter? What a good movie. What a good movie.
Kiss my petals, weave me through a dream. For all of these simple things and much more.
Alright guys, what a great movie this is what movies are supposed to do. I remember when this movie came out, I think it was like February or March, but the internet went crazy for like 3 weeks. I was on the internet too. I was like trying to discover what the hell was going on, trying to figure out what happened in this movie. I was a little confused after the first time I saw the movie because I didn't really catch on to everything. But just going through the forums, seeing this movie like a couple of more times in theaters, really opened my eyes as to what the movie's about. Like, it's about like classism and stuff like that, but the story of Adeline and like what she does, like it seemed like she is evil actually. Like the little girl, her face, she always seems like she's happy in what she's doing, so maybe she is evil, I don't know. But at the end of the day, the whole story behind it is, does it really matter? Like, those are all, like Jason and the other girl are literally Adeline's like kids, you know? So does it really matter that their mom is a clone or not? Like, who cares? At the end of the day, she was able to learn how to speak. She was able to find a life for herself. So it does show that the clones, the government experiment did work. The clones are able to function as normal human beings. That's, I guess, what they wanted them to do. So it ultimately did work. A lot of ambiguous stuff throughout the whole movie, guys. I forgot that before this scene, Adeline, like, brutally kills Red. Like, brutally kills her. And she's actually, like, laughing half the way through while she's killing her. And, like, Jason is in the locker observing all of it. I think that's why he puts his mask back on at the end. If you guys watched that and you saw that in the clip, that every time he puts his mask on, he's scared. It just signifies that he's scared. So he's scared of his mom because he knows the truth about her. But anyways, guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this movie. Let me know how you guys reacted to this movie. Were you guys online like me, like trying to figure everything out, what happened throughout the movie? Did you enjoy the movie? Jordan Peele is killing it with Get Out and Us. I mean, Get Out was phenomenal, phenomenal. Us was okay, but it had really good ideas, you know? I really liked it for that, so... And I liked it because it's an original movie. It's not like a franchise. It's not a sequel. It's not a reboot. It's not a live action remake. It's just an original idea. So I always got to go out and support those because we want more of those. So let me know in the comment section what you guys thought of this movie because it's phenomenal. It's great. And it's always fun to kind of talk with others and figure out what you're missing from the movie, what you didn't get, what you missed from your perspective in watching this movie, and see what other people could add to this whole great story. So let me know what you guys thought. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, but I'm gonna wrap the video up. So take care of yourself, stay safe, because it is a crazy world and there are a lot of crazy people. But most importantly, guys, you already know by now. Peace.